Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast. This will be another update on the potential for a major Christmas snowstorm here for millions, all the way up from the deep southeast up to the Appalachians, up to the Great Lakes. So we're looking at a potential massive snowstorm for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with frigid temperatures and that low pressure to the south. It's a perfect match for a brewing snowstorm here. We're looking at the timing of the snowstorm. Could this actually happen, and why could this actually happen, especially on Christmas Eve and Christmas? And as well, we're looking at who could potentially see the most amount of snow and where will that snow be. Before we get the video, be sure to subscribe if you're new as well. I really would appreciate it. And if you have any questions about if your place can get snow or anything like that on Christmas, be sure to put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. But without further ado, let's get in the video. So here's like now at the Tropical Tempest's new 18Z GFS model run, and this is the newest model run for the GFS so far. So this is what we're looking at the morning of Christmas Eve here. So this is around really early in the morning, like 4 a.m. and Christmas Eve. We're gonna be seeing low pressure right here in Louisiana. That's where you see that opening, this isobar right here, right there is where you see that strengthening low pressure. So we are gonna be seeing gradually stronger winds as it does strengthen here. So there it is. That's going to help bring all that rain across portions of the Mississippi River Basin. And we have low pressure up to the north there. That's going to help bring in some snow in those higher areas up more to the north, where we actually do have way colder temperatures from the brewing cold front there, from that high pressure there and at Canada. But as we now get closer and closer to obviously more into Christmas Eve day, temperatures will continue to drop actually instead of increasing for some of these areas in the south here. And there's that low pressure right here, or actually no, there you see that little opening, the ice bar right there. There it is in Alabama, and with this incoming cold air, it's going to kind of just be behind this snow. That's what's going to help develop here, way to the east there of the cold air. So the cold air is going to be really right here behind it, and then there's that kind of humid, moist air there. That's going to help put snow right in the middle of those two things. That's going to help increase snow now for areas of all the way to Tennessee. It's going to be very heavy snow areas as well, like Louisville, as well as Paducah, as well all the way to Indianapolis, Toledo, Dayton, even possibly even Evansville there across portions of the Ohio Valley, and even Cincinnati there. But as we now get more into Christmas Eve, now possibly by the afternoon and evening hours, things get even more interesting. There's that low pressure continuing to go more now closer to Georgia here. We have that cold air really rushing in quite quickly here, and this is just going to be a massive snowstorm all the way from areas like in Canada down to north central Alabama. We could possibly see extremely heavy snow for areas like Nashville, Tennessee, possibly as well for Atlanta, Georgia, especially in the Appalachians and northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and western North Carolina is going to really be seeing where we'll be seeing the worst of the snow there in the southeast here. But as well, going to be seeing some snow possibly at Christmas Eve, evening, and night for areas like Columbus there. So temperatures will be below freezing, so wood should stick here. Columbus, Cincinnati, Lexington there, and Kentucky, it's been a while since a white Christmas. And there you see now by really the dusk, almost midnight there, that's just going to go all the way down to metro Atlanta, central Georgia on Christmas Eve night. They're very heavy snow for me, and actually we're going to be seeing some very strong winds here. I'm actually expected to get up to 25 miles an hour sustained here as this low pressure strengthens at 994 millibars. So it's really strengthening. That's going to help bring it and I mean extremely heavy snow for Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, all the way up to West Virginia. So this is going to be not only snow for the southeast, but extremely heavy, especially for the Georgia region and the Appalachians here. So definitely really watching out there. But even snow all the way up to Erie, Niagara Falls, Columbus still seeing that very heavy snow. Charleston, West Virginia, going to get the action. Franklin, North Carolina, Gainesville, Georgia, where I live, of course. And then by now, this is early overnight into now Christmas morning. There's that low pressure at 986 millibars. So this could possibly be a bomb cyclone here. As it continues to strengthen, that's going to help bring in some stronger winds. But the strongest winds will be more to the east here. So it's going to kind of avoid blizzard conditions. But very heavy snow for areas like Roanoke, Virginia, possibly all the way up to central North Carolina, possibly near Greensboro. Charlotte might get a few flurries here. All of West Virginia there. all the way up to areas that got affected by gale, such as State College there, Pittsburgh, Western Maryland. I mean, it's going to be a big, big show here. And look at that, as low pressure now gets to 981 millibars here. It's going to possibly bring some snow, maybe even for Virginia Beach, Richmond, Dover. Very, very heavy snow for areas as well near the Poconos, where we got up to 4 feet of snow there from gale. So these areas that got affected by gale, like right in the heart of the storm, are going to get very heavy snow just a week later here. So we're looking at a big, big event. Here's like now after the European here. The European, they were initially really showing the storm here, but now they're not necessarily showing the storm here. And I'm not entirely sure, but CMC, Icon, GFS, multiple other models do support the storm here. So usually the European tends to be the most accurate, but sometimes they're just not agreeing with other models. But I'm not saying that this means it won't happen, but really I think there's more models showing it than not showing it, and really the only one that's not showing it is the European here. So that's why it's kind of still iffy, but really models including European initially were showing it for a week back. So really already 7 days back, and they're still showing it, or most of them are still showing it here. So the fact that 90% of them are so confident in showing it even after a week means that this definitely has a great probability of happening, even if the European does not show it here. But by really early Christmas Eve morning, we're going to be seeing some snow showers there up in Illinois, but really mainly it's going to be scattered rain showers there. But even look, no snow developing there in Tennessee. They don't have anything really until east of Nashville. So Nashville not going to get anything. Atlanta, Georgia not going to get anything. Areas like Lexington, Cincinnati, and Columbus, you guys are still looking at some snow there. Possibly getting all the way down to northwestern Georgia. So they are showing it a bit more compared to they were showing last video. They weren't even getting to Georgia at all, really. But they're starting to get a bit more. They're kind of starting to show it a bit more intense. So I guess they're starting to wake up. But I do expect them by the next few days to start showing here. But I mean, it still has a whole 6 days, 5 days tomorrow before it actually really happens. So we have plenty of time to change here. But look at that very heavy snow there for areas like Charleston, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Franklin, North Carolina, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, all the way up to areas as well. Now seeing very heavy snow, of course, for areas that got affected by gale. But let's look at the snowfall totals here. So this is look at the GFS, what they're predicting here. They have, let's move my thing a little bit there. So they actually have up to around 1 to 3 inches there for far north central Alabama, up to 2 to 4 inches there in north central Georgia. So far, the Weather Channel and other areas are showing 1 to 2 inches for me. So that could go down, that could go up. I really do think models are really, I guess you could say, lacking knowledge when it comes to the southeast here. I do believe that they are underestimating the storm when it comes to these general areas. And I'm not self-forecasting that. I'm just saying they've done this a lot. The southeast has a history of getting snowstorms where models, including GFS and European, have really unpredicted it and really under-forecasted and ended up being a major snowstorm. For example, February of 2020, the one I made a video of, they only predicted around a trace of snow. We got 6 inches. So I do think it's really hard to predict when it comes to the southeast here. So I do think they are underestimating it. I mean, temperatures will be below freezing all the way to the Gulf Coast. So temperatures are there. I do think they're underestimating it, even for Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, all the way to Kentucky. I think that general area is getting underestimated. But I'm not self-forecasting that. I do promise that I'm not self-forecasting that. But really 1 to 2 inches there for Nashville, really 2 inches max based on what the GFS is showing there. But of course, we're seeing a huge amount of snow up the crest of the Appalachians here. I mean, look at that, seeing up to possibly a half foot or more in the Great Smoky Mountains as well. Looking at 2 inches possibly for Cincinnati. That's really consistent. They've been getting a good amount of snow there so far. 3 to 4 inches there for Lexington. Looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches there for Columbus. Cleveland, Ohio, starting to get a bit more snowfall totals forecasted up to near half a foot there. Pittsburgh, 5, or really anywhere from 4 to 6 inches. But look at the Appalachians right here, right in the deep part of West Virginia, up to 15 plus inches of snowfall. Possibly maybe at 2 to 5 inches there for DC. That's really interesting. Alexandria, looking at probably maybe 6 inches there. State College around half foot, but look at these areas that got really hit hard from gale, especially right here in northeastern Pennsylvania, they got over near 3 feet in some areas, but look at that, 7 to 12 inches of snowfall. That is going to really help add totals for these areas because they really won't get above freezing much until way late, but definitely looking at a big add on to the addition to that snow there. Syracuse 15 plus into the snowfall, so looking like a Syracuse, Utica, and Lake Huron storm here, but looking at very widespread threat, but obviously plenty of time to change. But there's a huge difference with the Europeans, so I mean, they're really showing nothing at all, even for like the Appalachians in West Virginia or Kentucky. Nothing at all for Georgia. Nothing at all for Tennessee or Alabama. I mean, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by underestimating. They don't have anything really at all, and they were showing yesterday a massive storm. So I don't really understand there. But really, they only have maybe 3 inches, 4 inches for the deep Appalachians and the Great Smoky Mountains. Only around maybe 4 inches max for Virginia and the Appalachians. Only around 7 inches there in the deep roots of West Virginia. So only an inch there for central Pennsylvania. Only a trace there near Pittsburgh. I mean, I really think the European is, I think I'm jinxing the European when I keep saying they're the most reliable model when it comes to snowstorms. I think I kind of jinxed that quite a bit. And as you do see as well, the last thing we'll be looking at is the cold front here. And this is kind of how this is possible. I mean, look at all the way down to the Gulf Coast. We're seeing 15 plus degrees below average. Deep cold front here from big high pressure there when it comes to the north. Or actually at this point, it'll be kind of right here. There's that low pressure. It's going to bring that perfect amount of snow across these areas here. So, I mean, temperatures there well below freezing. Up to possibly 17 to 19, even 20 degrees below average in portions of the southeast here. And then look at that portion as well in the Ohio Valley. Same thing at the 15 degrees below average there when it comes to Christmas Eve night and Christmas Day. So temperatures will be very cold. Some highs won't even reach past above freezing there. And that's even in the southeast. For example, my high will be 35 on Christmas Day. So if it snows, it's going to stick into really the late afternoon. But even that, the temperatures could still decrease 5 days. I mean, temperatures are really, really going down here. So we're looking at an interesting storm here. I do believe models aren't completely accurate right now, but I do think they're starting to get an eye opener right now. But I just do think this storm will be more severe than models expected here. But we have 5 days to wait here. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.